Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pyro gaming video. Exotic catalysts are a lot of fun. Number one, they give you something extra to do, which is never a bad thing, and number two, in most cases, they change the exotic weapon that you're using in a pretty significant way. Now, granted, some exotic catalysts are much better and much more game-changing than others, but for the most part, they all add a little something to that weapon. Another big factor to consider when trying to rank exotic catalysts and find out which ones are best is what the current sandbox also looks like. For example, the exotic catalyst for Whisper of the Worm is incredibly powerful. Whispered breathing is very, very strong. But with the nerfs to Whisper of the Worm itself this season, that catalyst has kind of fallen under the wayside. I mean, it's still a good catalyst, it's just not that great of a weapon now. So what I wanted to do in this video is take a look at the exotic catalysts that are currently available in the game and try to figure out which ones are the best. Now, originally I wanted this to be a sort of top 5 video, but honestly there's a couple of really good ones that are definitely worthy of a mention, so I'm just going to kind of play it by ear and we'll see how many we get. In no particular order, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start this list with one of my personal favorites right now, and that is the Aizen Burden Catalyst. This catalyst is obtainable from completing a heroic run of the Menagerie. It can drop from the final chest, assuming you have a perfected chalice, meaning your Chalice of Opulence has every single upgrade purchased and now has a gold ring around it. What this exotic catalyst does is pretty straightforward. It increases the damage of Honed Edge. Honed Edge in itself is when you hold down reload and compress 4 rounds into one, making that one round deal 4 times damage. However, with the exotic catalyst, you deal around 50% more damage than that, so you're actually doing, with a single shot, the amount of damage that 6 sniper rounds would do, which is pretty crazy. When you start combining that with buffs and debuffs, something like Hammer Strike, which gives you 50% more damage, makes it shoot 9 times the amount of damage that a single shot would do. That is actually really insane. My next catalyst is going to be for Outbreak Perfected. You obtain this catalyst by first obtaining Outbreak Perfected, then completing a heroic version of the 0-hour mission, and then going back into that mission and doing the Arc, Solar, and Void configurations that rotate each week. Outbreak is one of those unique weapons that is not only good for ad clear, but it's also great for boss damage. The reason it is good for boss damage is because the longer you shoot an enemy, the more nanites stack on top of that enemy and the more damage that your bullets will ultimately do. Now, what the catalyst does is increases the amount of nanites that you put on that boss, so it goes without saying, it's definitely going to improve that weapon. For bosses like Kali and Insurrection Prime, Outbreak Perfected has honestly become my go-to weapon for those raid bosses. Definitely worth picking up. Next up, I want to throw a little love to the PvP players out there. Suros Regime with Spinning Up is actually pretty good in the Crucible with a nominal time to kill. Its catalyst will make it so that the perk that gives you health back on a kill is much more frequent. It's not a guarantee, but it is more frequent. I would love to show you some gameplay of this, but I'm still working on this catalyst. I just got it recently. And if you are curious, you get this catalyst as a random drop from completing Crucible matches or completing strikes. It can drop from either one. But definitely worth picking up. I actually love Suros in PvP, so I'm really excited to have this catalyst and can't wait to use it. Next up is the catalyst for one of my favorite all-time Destiny weapons, and that is Sleeper Simulant. Sleeper Simulant recently got a nerf, but its nerf is kind of weird. It only nerfed the amount of damage that you can do with the ricochet rounds, while leaving the crit damage that you can do if you just shoot it directly at an enemy's head virtually the same. Now, this thing still hits like a truck, honestly, and the catalyst only makes it better. Sleeper's exotic catalyst not only increases the amount of ammo that you can carry with it, but it also decreases your charge time, which is great. It takes about 25% off your charge time in total. You can obtain this catalyst from the Spire of Stars raid, and it will drop from any of the encounters, as well as any of the chests. I got mine from the Jumping Puzzle chest, and I also got the emote from the opening encounter. You don't actually need to complete that raid. What I did, because I don't like that raid, was just went and farmed the first 3 encounters each week on all 3 of my characters until I had everything from that raid. Next up, I have the catalyst for Bad Juju. You can purchase this catalyst directly from the Kala statue in the Tribute Hall, But before you can buy it, you first need to present 45 tributes in your tribute hall. There's no word as to what happens when this time frame closes, whether or not this catalyst will be available in some way at a later date, but as it stands right now, this catalyst is presumably going away on September 17th when all of this stuff ends. The catalyst for Bad Juju increases the duration of String of Curses. Think of it as like a Rampage spec mod that you can buy from Ada and throw on a weapon with Rampage. It just keeps the perk active for longer. String of Curses is a very, very good perk though. It not only increases the amount of damage that you do, kind of like Rampage, but it also increases the amount of super energy that you get back on each kill. So it should go without saying that extending that duration and allowing you a greater chance of stacking it all the way up to its max stack of 5 is very valuable. Bad Juju is currently one of the best add clear weapons in the game, so to have String of Curses be able to last longer is always going to be a good thing. Next up, I'm going to throw Merciless on this list. Its Exotic Catalyst gives you a big boost to range and stability. Now, Merciless, as it stands right now, is pretty good in PvE. I mean, it's definitely not terrible, but where it really shines is in PvP, and that's why I wanted to throw it on this list, to give you Crucible players a little bit more love. You can obtain the Merciless Catalyst as a random drop from Strikes and Nightfalls from the final chest. Range and stability are arguably the two best perks to have on a fusion rifle. Range decreases the amount of damage drop-off, meaning you can shoot further without losing your damage potential, and stability makes it so that the little pellets that you shoot with a fusion rifle are grouped closer together, which means that you have a higher chance of all of them hitting your target. This one has the potential of being very fun if you're into fusions. And my last catalyst on this video is going to be for Legend of Acreus. You can obtain this catalyst as a random drop from any of the encounters or chests in the Leviathan Prestige raid, and my god, is it worth it. The two biggest problems that Legend of Acreus have are that it has a small magazine size with a base magazine of 2, and its reload is incredibly slow. The Exotic Catalyst fixes both of those problems, increasing your magazine up to 6 and increasing your reload speed to make it faster than like Ikelos in threat level. Like honestly, the Catalyst for Legend of Acreus makes it a brand new weapon, and Acreus is really good. It hits like an absolute truck. Guys, believe me when I say go get this Catalyst. Go get it. And there you have it, guys. Those are my picks for the top exotic catalysts in the game right now. Now, like I said earlier at the beginning of this video, this is my preference. This is what I believe to be the best exotic catalyst. Of course, all of these are going to be subjective, and they're going to come down to preference, playstyle, things like that. But honestly, I would recommend picking these up because, I mean, even if it's a weapon that you don't think you're going to like, the catalyst might change that weapon for you. So I would definitely recommend trying them out at least. But in any case, that's going to bring this video to an end, guys. Drop a comment in the box below and let me know which catalysts in the game right now are your favorite and which ones you're looking forward to the most in Shadowkeep. We're getting a bunch of new ones. I'm really excited. But that's going to bring this video to an end. If you enjoyed it, click like. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, I fucking love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.